What's up, nerds? Back with another video, another lifting in the gym video. And this time, as you can tell, we're doing something a little bit different because I normally am the boxing guy, the Zoom boxing guy. However, for the majority of my time in the gym and my majority of my time boxing, I also throw kicks. I think it's super important to complete the package. I think for me, it helps with distance. I focus heavily on my footwork. I focus heavily on the balance aspect of really martial arts, of lifting, of sports, of everything. I think that, from everything from the legs, then comes everything else. And so to me, it's only natural that I needed to practice or, have incorporated kicking into my martial arts, but I've just never uploaded a video kicking before. And so it's actually kind of a trip watching myself kick and watching myself move around. And I do end up throwing some elbows in there. I do end up just distancing myself with punches because that's really, kicking to me is something extremely useful. Kicks are extremely powerful. We end up, throwing a little bit of elbows in, throw a little bit of combos. And these things are all incredibly important when it comes to martial arts, or at least the martial arts that I, like to practice. And it helps you. It just, when you see the kicks and you see the elbows, once we start throwing some combos later, everything just ties into each other. The distance that I cover throwing a kick, and then where I am placed afterwards to follow up with either an elbow or a punch, it all just fits. It all just makes sense. I mean, when you look at my punch positioning and then the follow-up kick, because right now, assuming this was, someone's body, right? I am kicking directly the meat of their quad, their outside of their knee, their lower calves. I would be connecting right there with that meat of their body. Or, you could throw a liver kick, right? And then you're followed up, you can position, you see my fist, I'm followed up right there to throw either a liver shot, or, you can do an elbow right to the head, or, you are right there in distance for a grab. Just for me, it just makes sense. It just makes sense to practice footwork, to practice kicks, because it just ties into everything so perfectly. And obviously, I'm a big time boxer. Zoom boxing for me is the emphasis and combination of the footwork and the boxing, because, again, we're essentially just, dancing while also throwing punches and learning how to transfer our energy in those moments. You've only got, while you're dancing, you're only going to be on the floor for a fraction of a second to a fraction. And in that case, in that time, you're learning to transfer all of that energy, to channel it up your body, boom, throw the punch or extend out, boom, snap that wrist, transfer that energy, bring the jab back up. Then you're either throwing a hop from that one foot onto the other, learning, that stuff. But then you also, in that time, you don't have to throw a punch. You can throw a kick as well. And you land right there in that next, and when you land, you are set up in that next fraction of a second to do exactly like what you have been doing in Zoom boxing. So I just thought this was just an interesting experiment to upload, something that it's actually, I got this, something that people comment once in a while, and something that definitely I think about, occasionally is, I maybe get, 50 views, on my different videos, right? But no one ever comments, no one ever likes, I'm just in the algorithm. I'm just, a guy on a ship just passing through, time, passing through the internet, but a big time shout out to you if you're watching this, because the Zoom boxing videos and the martial arts videos do get, 50 to 100 views randomly, and who knows how you ended up here. But I, hope you find this interesting, and I hope you find some knowledge or something useful, because for me, this really, for myself, really, it's useful in incorporating it and in my understanding of martial arts and everything like that. So thanks for watching. Smoke grass, eat ass, be excellent to each other. I will see you in the next video. Thanks again. Deuces.
Like the vid, leave a word, drop a comment, get absurd. Subscribe if you had some fun. We drop